Hi, Gloria Lybecker here with Healing You. This last week, I've gotten to go on many journeys with many beautiful, sensitive souls. And what's really standing out to me is how on our healing journey, as we begin to break through our unconsciousness, to live our life firmly rooted and grounded in our heart space and self-connection with self-compassion, it can allow new aspects of our journey to arise. Sometimes that can feel pretty uncomfortable as well as unexpected. When we do the precision work and the tender work of releasing unconscious contracts with time travel empathy, it's like, it's a whole new world. Because when we've had a contract that we didn't realize we had and it was running our behavior, when we get to release it, now it's a whole new life. We get to notice what it's like to live this new life. I was working with one person who had really struggled with a sense of unworthiness, and it would show up in many different ways. And moving through the process and holding that sacred container, the new experience has been, rather than the unworthiness, that when they're engaging with other people, they come alive in a new way. And they resonate with others' life experiences, and they honestly can express and be transparent and spontaneous and start to live in their joy. And it's amazing to experience that. And then, after shining and being alive and empowered, they feel this shadow start to come up. And there's a tightness in the chest and agitation. And they start to want to worry. They start to doubt. It starts to creep in ever so slightly, and an inner critic gets stimulated. And it might be just a slightly different variation. It might be a little entanglement of a contract. It's got a slightly different flavor than the first one. And yet it still kind of goes into that taproot of unworthiness. So it might look something like, I just don't deserve others' time and attention or help. Or there's something wrong with me. Because when we're little, and we're not met in our joy, in our expression of who we are, if we're not met there with acceptance and understanding, then our nervous system, our little us, our little ones inside, they automatically believe there's something wrong with them. So then there's something wrong with me. It's all my fault. And then we work really hard to do whatever it is we believe we need to do to make it all better, whatever it takes. Really needing that acceptance and inclusion and a sense of belonging that we can count on. And so when we can feel that, we can start to tap into the root and notice that fear as it starts to happen. We can recognize that maybe we're anxious about what others think. And we slow time down. And the practice I like to invite you into is slowing time down and then dropping down into your roots as if you are a tree of life yourself. Noticing past that fear that there's a survival stimulus that's happening within you. It's a message that needs your attention. And as you ground yourself in your roots of connection, you can begin to breathe into your heart and to touch into the quality of life that supports you to stay present, even though it's uncomfortable. And as as you tap in there, you can start to notice in this moment that when that unworthiness or that doubt about whether you are worthy comes in, what's the quality of life energy that is going to allow you to stay present? Self-awareness. Being in touch with your felt sense of self. And as you just breathe into that, what is it like when you have that strong self-connection with your felt sense of self? And there's a sense of self-acceptance even. And as you pause right there, allow yourself to just soak it up and to receive the gift that the moment's truly bringing to you. You can receive the gift that this stimulus caused. That when the inner critic got stimulated, that it's a part of you that's coming forward for deeper healing. And there's nothing wrong with you. You can welcome this part, or you can receive support to allow this experience to be welcomed, to be grateful. That, oh my gosh, when I can slow time down and I can be with this inner experience of tightness in my chest and agitation and the fearful anxiousness, it actually lets me tap into my need for self-awareness, my need for really being connected and in touch with my felt sense of self. And that's a gift. I mean, that totally shifts it right there. From a contraction or an avoidance to an opening of the heart and warmth and care. And then taking those roots even deeper then, what is the unmet need underneath this experience? And for this one, the unmet need was for self-love and connectedness. When we're survival stimulated, we need self-love and connectedness. Self-compassion brings us to. So when we can tap into that, then we can rewrite time. We can float up above our timeline. We can go back in time to that moment where there was a little one. And this little one had learned a lesson from a big one in their life. That when they showed up all alive and bright and happy and joyful, this big one said, well, you're not. Do you think you are the center of the universe? And there was a shame reaction. And that's where the unworthiness had been born. So we can float up and we can go back in time and we can be with this part of us. And we can come back in and we can remember when we were resonating with someone else's honest expression and it lit us up. And we got excited about it and we honestly expressed. We chimed in and we kind of embellished even a little bit more from our experience with their experience because we're celebrating a connection. And then after a few minutes go by, you notice that doubt start to come up. And this time, as that doubt comes up, I slow down, I put my hand on my heart, and I reach inside to my younger self, and I hold her hand and say, oh, I'm here, I've caught you. No wonder you had doubt, because it was scary to think that maybe other people thought something of you that you're not. It's okay, we don't need to be in our shadow. I'm here with you now. You're not alone. And so breathing through that, noticing what's that like at a cellular level. What happens in your body when you're welcomed in that way? There's a soothing and a softening. It's like, wow, that's a lot easier to sit with than the doubt and the fear and the agitation. There's a relaxation and an ease, a softness, a warmth. Well, if this resonates with you, you have some curiosity around what it might be like to experience releasing unconscious contracts and time traveling with empathy. Reach out to me at healingyoursanctuary.com. There's a preview of the 6-week course that I would invite you to check out. And I would love to accompany you on your healing journey. Thanks for being with me today. Healing you.